Welcome to day 40. Today is the last workout day before your 2 grow days, and those happen to coincide with Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So happy holidays in advance. The next couple videos over Christmas I'm going to keep fairly short so I can focus on spending time with my family and enjoying the holidays, but I still wanted to keep you guys updated on my progress. So tomorrow I will be doing check-ins with myself, and I will go ahead and post a video updating you on my progress as always. For today's video, since it is a workout day, I wanted to focus on a question that I got coinciding with exercises and workouts, and that is, how can you get a better contraction and better feel your biceps muscle while you're training it? So for a full 30-minute breakdown on my biceps workouts, top exercises, and how to really develop a mind-to-muscle connection, you can check out my Blueprint to Biceps video trainer on my website, but I figured I'd hit a couple key points here as well to help you really be able to feel your curls better isolated in the muscle you're targeting, that being the biceps. The 3 main points that I want to focus on today are supination, control, and locking the arm in position, minimizing movement in the shoulder. So first of all, let's touch on supination. So what is supination? If you're not that familiar with bodybuilding terminology, or you haven't been working out for too long, or are not a scientist or any of the above, supination and pronation is the action that happens in the wrist when you rotate like this. So supination means rotating the wrist upward, palm facing up, and pronation means rotating, palm facing down. Now, why is that important? Well, because it is actually one of the functions of the biceps to supinate the wrist. So for example, if you're going to be doing a barbell curl, your wrists are constantly supinated as you curl up and stretch down. If you're using a dumbbell or a single hand cable attachment, you can actually allow your hand to pronate and rotate palm facing neutral as you come down, and supinate, rotate your palm up as you curl the weight up. So watch what happens to my biceps when I do this movement. Just by going from a neutral palm, I'm flexing my biceps here, to rotating my palm upwards, see how much more of a contraction I'm actually getting in my bicep. So I'm not saying that barbell curls or hammer curls are bad. They're great exercises to include in your repertoire. However, I am saying don't neglect your dumbbell curls or single handle cable curls, any exercise that allows you to actually supinate the wrist up as you curl, as that is going to work the bicep in a way that will be neglected if you neglect those exercises. Now, the second thing I want to focus on is control. And those of you who have been following me for a little while know how much I preach this, and that is to control the weight on the negative. So we'll use the example of the bicep dumbbell curls again. A lot of people you'll see will go from straight arms, they'll struggle to get the weight up, and then they'll just let gravity drop the dumbbell back to the starting point, thinking that's 1 repetition. At that point, they've missed out on the most important part of the rep, the negative, where your muscle is actually stronger and better able to fight the weight. For example, let's say you're curling in a 100-pound barbell. Even if you have trouble getting the bar up with good form, if you swing the bar up, you're usually able to control the bar slowly down, struggling and fighting it to the bottom. So this is because the negative portion of the repetition is stronger than the positive portion. So how do you equally exhaust both the negative and the positive through an exercise? And the solution that I found worked best for me and for my clients is to do about twice as long on the negative as you are on the positive. So you're always going to curl with a nice controlled cadence. You're going to squeeze the weight up in a controlled explosive contraction, and then you're going to take about twice as long to lower the weight down. This way, you're exhausting the negative portion of the exercise as much as the positive and fully tapping out those muscle fibers to the max, stimulating more growth. And last but not least is to keep your form locked in position. Basically, keep your shoulders locked down in position. So having a little bit of movement in your shoulders can emphasize a deeper contraction in the biceps. But what I see a lot of people do when they're doing bicep curls, I'll show from the side, when they come up, they actually move their shoulders as well and their elbows come forward, so they finish the curling portion in this position. Notice how far my elbows are from my side. Now what that does, since the weight is pushing gravity straight down, is it's pushing down into the elbow, which is held up by the shoulder, almost like you're doing a shortened version of a front lateral raise exercise here, when you want to be focusing on the bicep. So how can we make the bicep be the point of the load? And that is to keep the elbow at your side. So when the weight in your hand is pushing straight down, it's focusing on the bicep instead of pushing straight down, focusing on the shoulder. A great way to practice this is with preacher curls, or on the other side of a preacher curl bench with spider curls, and practicing doing these curls without allowing the back of your arms to come up from the pad at all. That's another thing I see. A lot of people will use the preacher bench, and as they curl up, they'll use momentum, rock their body weight back, and their elbows will come up off the bench pad. That's not using perfect form. You want to keep the back of your arms locked on that preacher bench pad until you exhaust the biceps, and then you can do a couple cheat reps at the end if you need. So I hope that gives you some good tips to focus on when you're training your biceps. So just to give you a quick summary, focus on supination as you curl up, keeping the palm facing up, fight it on the way down, and allow your hand to pronate at the bottom with your palm facing neutral. That will better contract the biceps. Number 2, keep your form controlled. Take about twice as long on the negative portion of the repetition as the positive. And number 3, keep everything locked in place shoulder-wise so your elbow stays approximately at your side or wherever your angle is. If you're on a preacher bench or an incline bench, that elbow stays in the same position and isn't doing this, causing the shoulder come in and dominate. For a more detailed breakdown of biceps training, you can get the blueprint to biceps off my website. Or as always, if you have any further questions, you can leave them down in the comments section below. I hope you have a fantastic last training day before Christmas, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.